Welcome to In Bed with Homiematrimony with only one of the homies, so it's In Bed with the Homie. Today we've got Lebohang Masango, Auntie Noba, feminist, poet, author, and masters.
Yes, master's,
What do you call
soon
it?
to be graduate, really, in social anthropology.
Nice. So what was your master's dissertation in?
So my master's dissertation is titled Johannesburg, Sex, Love and Money, an Ethnography of Phones and Feelings. I was awarded a scholarship in which I had to look at like 4 things. I had to look at young people, romance, mobile phones, Johannesburg, and then I could design the study whichever way I wanted to.
Okay.
So I basically decided to look at this, some would say a new phenomena, but I think this repetitive phenomena of young women dating older men of means or older men with money.
Let's talk about dating in the city.
Okay.
What are your views? Because I have my own. I have one very unpopular view that I will share. So you start.
So my view of dating in the city is that I feel like we are living in the heterosexual Hunger Games, where you really have to just go in all out battle, okay? And you gotta get the scrapes, the bruises, the burns, just to emerge with a little piece of love in the end, you know? There's so much that women have to do in order to gain affection that is honest, affection that is kind, affection that has some dignity as well. Because if not, because that's all that's happening outside. So, I mean, I do think that heterosexuality is the ghetto, but you know, it's the ghetto we live in, and we gotta make the best of it.
We're here now.
The best of it. We're here now. Yeah.
Here is my one unpopular opinion on dating. I don't think that women should take men seriously when they approach them with romantic intentions. I think you should say no all the time.
So singashelwa basically like
just
be like,
no, there's kunokushela,
Yeah.
which is playful, consensual banter with an air of flattery and mutually affirming interaction. Ukushela lokho. This thing that you do in the City Club Hunger Games
yeah.
I don't think minuguti it lends itself to creating lasting romantic coupling. Because the basis of it is a frivolous one. Ngoba men are socialized into patriarchy where they see women as playthings.
Yeah.
So when a man you hardly know approaches you with romantic interest, he wants to use you as a plaything. The only way I think that a relationship can form for heterosexual people is if you are approached or you do approach somebody with an intention of genuine friendship, with no expectation and no exception to that. And only then can something grow from it. If a man is approaching you with a romantic interest already, that's my view.
Yeah.
And I don't believe Uguti women should be paying attention to men who mac. Ukshela is different from macking. Ukshela is a game, it's not a real thing.
Okay.
You know? And Ukshela is embedded in a particular cultural practice where women and men see themselves and each other in a particular way.
Okay.
You know, it's not harassment, it's not macking. I don't believe that if a man macks, you should give him the time of day. You should just say no. Because that man is already coming at you like a plaything. For the laksa.
I mean, it's gonna I hear it and I get it. It's just that it's just we as women then are not socialized into what you're saying of saying no, right?
Yes.
We're socialized into, oh my god, he's tall, he smells good, let me give him my number.
Because because there is this understanding. Your booty male attention is a rare and important sought after commodity in this economy, and it is something that is scarce and that we need to vie for. And the premise of my argument is that male attention is abundant and useless.
Yeah.
It offers
and
no
of
value.
low value. Yes.
Being desired by a male and being desirable to the male gaze is not something that should be considered some kind of worthwhile achievement. You know, men are not important in that sense. If a man wants to be your friend, a proper true friend, then that man is already putting himself in line to be a good partner, because he will respect you and see you as a human being. If a man is approaching you with a romantic intent, he's already seeing you as some kind of a toy, a snack, you know, and that already diminishes your capacity to be able to negotiate favorable conditions, reciprocal conditions in that coupling.
Yeah.
That's where I stand.
I mean, I hear you. And it's like this one woman, Imani, says, like, women are like crackheads for love, really, all over the place, because we have been socialized into this, like, hyper attachment. And social media makes it worse because you want to perform. So even if it's one meaningless date, it was just a few hours that felt good, and that's it. Or one good morning text, or one little, I don't know, e-wallet, nyana. You know, you want to go on social media and not just perform that you got something, but that you are so desirable.
Come a bit closer.
That you are, you know, that you want to perform, that you're so desirable, that you're so chose. Look what can be done for me, look what I get. And it's nice when it's obviously, you know, from someone that you have a significant relationship with, and it really is meaningful and there's respect there. But unfortunately, some women do tend to make it a whole hyper attachment thing. And then next thing, like 3 months later, not even 3 months, sorry, 3 weeks or 3 days later, when it decides to ghost you, then obviously you become so incredibly sad and shattered because you've built up that interaction to be more than
what it is.
Because male validation is something that is really blown up.
Yes, and I believe that women should detach and divest from male validation, because men are not socialized to respect us as people. So you should only be invested in people that see your humanity and are willing to act on that acknowledgement. And men, unfortunately, for the most part, are not. And so we need to seek to hold men to the same standard that we hold our female friends to begin with. And then if that diminishes your dating pool by like 98%, then you've only got 2% of men to choose from, and that's where it is. Instead of trying to open up your view and try to widen the possibilities by allowing low vibration, low quality people into your space, you know. And this is the thing that it makes it important for us to be able to hold men accountable for their politics as well, because their politics will determine how they see it, which is why we need feminism. It's got its limitations, and all of that, where we are seen as people and we are treated as people first before we are seen as romantic partners. And also, men are approaching us from a perspective of labor. What can we give? So there's nothing wrong with women saying to a man, what can they give?
And then
Sconce 3 a.m. What's that?
Yes, I saw that.
Did you see that?
No, you said something to me, but I didn't understand.
When she woke up, her husband nudged and said at 3 a.m. baby, but like he's
because he doesn't eat bread.
Because he hates bread. And then she woke up and baked scones at 3 a.m.
Imagine, is it so flashing? So that's women approach relationships with their feelings, which is a lie. It's a myth. It's meant to oppress us, that thing, as far as I'm concerned, which is why when you were talking about sugar feminism, where women are looking at relationships from a practical perspective of means, men are looking at women as means to a particular output. Can you make the babies? Can you cook the food? Can you go in makaya? Can you hold it down while I'm out there doing my man thing of being a breadwinner, which is also a nonsense concept, because most women also have to work to participate financially and economically in a household, and you're looking at it as, how do I feel about him?
And
I mean, we're starting on a back foot already. When men are choosing partners, they're not choosing about how they feel.
Exactly.
They're looking at us and saying, can this woman do this? Can this woman do that? So what's wrong with women looking at men and saying, can he do this and can he do that?
And that's how, couplings have been for so long, but somehow patriarchy spun it somewhere in the middle, and women are being made to feel like horrible, like gold diggers, like immoral, like prostitutes, like all of the words you can imagine, because they've also got a criteria that goes beyond fleeting feelings for the men that they want. And that, because I learned the word hypergamy very recently, and hypergamy is this entire kind of, there's a movement on social media and on the internet just trying to get women to be like, you know what, it's not you're not abandoning your feminism, your political anything for you to want to, I mean, sometimes you are abandoning your feminism in certain areas, but for you to want to have a criteria that goes beyond fleeting feelings, that's like perfectly okay. That's a rational adult.
And that's how our ancestors organize themselves in marriages. They did not ask you, how do you feel? Or you didn't ask yourself, how do I feel about this person? It was like, in this clan, Banan, Sinan, how do these clans stop warring? You make them get married. How do these clans strengthen their economic trading patterns? You make them get married. So very historically, marriage has got nothing to do with feelings and everything to do with economic output. And feelings is a nice bonus on top for chemistry and all those nice things which you can develop in time. But ultimately, shared values, shared morals, not even morals in the sense of right and wrong, but just like shared worldview, you know, shared resource accumulation, and a shared understanding of how you want to how do you want to share and distribute those resources that you have. Feelings, when we're talking about economics, where do feelings fit in? And it's not just resources of economic value. I'm talking about social resources, family resources, values and resources, other types of things that are worth something that don't necessarily work in an economy or a financial economy, but are still worthwhile. Networks of support, family members, ways of cooperating, ways of resolving conflict and things like that. Those are all resources that we need to look to say, can this man provide this? If I want to be with him. If the answer is no, you need to consider being with somebody else. And hypergamy, I suppose, is not just about the financial resources that a man can offer, but also those other things as well. And you want to marry at your level or above, so that you know that your family is always stable. You need to think of it like how our ancestors approached Lendole in a very practical sense. How will our clan survive? Does this clan bring the resources towards this clan that are going to help take it forward? And does this clan have what it takes to help that clan go forward? That's it. And then feelings, because feelings are the reason why we're in the Hunger Games in the first place.
Exactly. And the romantic industrial complex of all the music, all the movies, all the everything, and the celebrity news about who got married and who did whatever, all of that is constantly pumped out, and people want to be part of the fairy tale, right? Like aspirationalism says we want to be the next, I don't know, Meghan and Harry, or Beyonce and Jay, or Rihanna and her secret billionaire, whoever. Right? So yeah.
And in closing?
In closing, thank you for watching my first appearance on Homiematrimony. It won't be the last, because I'm always in this house.
Thank you, Nova. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.